What is up, everybody? Hold on, Alex. I'm just gonna do it, and hopefully the baby's not going. Woo! NBA's live. What a way to start the morning. How you doing, Hoop? Total City legend, Alex Hooper. What's up?
I'm excited.
I'm
I'm
chilling.
excited. I was
I'm
I was kind of downplaying this for so long, and
you
they did
you
it right.
you sandbag. You put yourself at a corner. You didn't want to get excited. You're a former frickin' basketball beat writer who every time I see you in person, I make you show me your LeBron photo.
Yes, yes, you
And you were
do.
like downplaying it because you were so worried that they would screw it up. And you want I'll let you say it. How did they do?
They nailed it.
Nailed it.
I have zero issue with anything. I'm I'm not upset by, but I am surprised by and we'll get
Cap.
into this, but I'm not I'm very, very happy about that. And I can't say I'm surprised, but I'm glad they got that right. I am surprised that there are not harsher positional requirements, and I am surprised about the best game
Yeah,
counting instead of like
that's
cumulative,
that was
which
so
is probably
good.
a good idea.
It
It's
was
probably
so
a good
good.
idea because there's going
It
to be
was
so
so
many
good.
inbound schedules. Yeah.
And honestly, like I don't play baseball as much as you, but it also makes me wonder if like baseball actually should do something like that. I think it provides liquidity to have the multiple game weeks type of things. But at the same time, you know as well as I, it kills, you have your alpha 2 game a week guy, and then there's a team that has 5. And you're like, I really don't want to play Aaron Judge for 2 games when Stephen Kwan has 5.
Yeah, that's true. But I kind of like that gameplay element because
Right. But they
Judge
could have done,
could,
I guess they could have done that in NBA, but instead they did this cap requirement, which I
yeah.
think is just brilliant because it still adds so much liquidity. We'll get to it in a second. But God, I'm just gonna say this. I was just thinking of this as I was running upstairs to get my headphones to get a hat because I look like a mess. Wasn't expecting to be like this excited. You and I are like, when are we recording? When are we talking about this? So I'm
I'm
just
taking
I'm over the
lunch
moon.
early.
I'm over the moon. Obviously everybody knows I play a ton of football here, and I was like getting nervous about the World Cup, and I can just say I'm not worrying about football World Cup. I'm worrying about Silver NBA and then DFS World Cup, and I am set. So I'm so pumped about NBA. So my first like reactions, they nailed it. Holy bleep, this is awesome. Oh my goodness, we're gonna talk about the designs. We disagree, but oh my gosh, goodness, poor football. These designs look so sick compared to that. Um, and then a reaction on the community event. I'm gonna do one downer, so I'm not just all positive. I could have done without Jay Williams and Cat. And Cat is really confident in himself considering his playoff performance.
Eh, I
Maybe
I was
he
just
should
having
have
this
talked that way before the final game where he what was it, like 6 points and 4 rebounds.
right. I was just having this conversation with someone though. Like, I feel like you have to be, especially in the NBA, you have to be like an egomaniac, or else I don't know that you can survive.
You need to, but at the same time, I don't know. I just was like, oh boy, Cat.
I could I could do without the dream team stuff, but I do appreciate that they made him stay within 100 point
Oh,
cap. Not
I love
even,
that part. I thought they were just gonna
yeah.
let him like, and and him dropping the Jaden Noel. That was deep cut right there.
He's got to boost his boys up. That's a smart
Jaden,
gamesmanship play.
jokes aside, so like I want to get into it. Let's start like getting into the gameplay and the cap and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So it's funny that he did like Jaden Noel because Jaden Noel to me is like actually one of those So first off, I just want to say this: DFS NBA people have the most insane advantage for like possibly the whole start of the season. And I am one of the DFS NBA people that has played now for 5 years, but it got me into DFS, and I'm so pumped because the one thing that's on the DFS side, and I'll do some separate videos or we'll do some together, but the biggest thing on DFS that determines NBA night to night, because we play on a salary cap too,
Mm-hmm.
but is all right, X player is out. So I'm gonna go continue with Jaden Noel. And I don't know the Timberwolves depth chart insanely well right now, but Ant Edwards is resting tonight. Cat is out. Noel is going to have insane usage and is probably going to shoot the ball 20 times tonight. And if we know that on the start of the game week, right? So I think it's what is it? It's Tuesday through Friday, and then Friday through Monday, or I don't
Monday
have it
through
up.
Thursday,
Monday through Thursday.
Friday through
But the
Sunday, just like
craziest thing, I don't know
MLB.
if you saw this, I was reading the details, is the week doesn't lock before 10 minutes before tip.
Yeah,
So
so we
most
get
tips are
lineups
7:08.
for
Well, there technically is a 30-minute rule that the
Yeah.
NBA doesn't actually enforce.
No.
DFS people, we were so excited about the 30-minute rule, and then they actually didn't enforce it. But essentially, we should know by 6:40 who's ruling it out. Now, if it's Monday and all of a sudden I know Ant Edwards is ruled out, I can go pick up Jaden Noel. And this is a best ball format too, right? So I only need one good game. It's not like I need Ant Edwards out 2 games this week.
Yep.
I just need the one spike performance from a Noel type. And now if his L10, his last 10 games, which is how they're doing the cap, is only 12, and we're projecting him for 40.
Right.
Holy hell.
And I don't mean to do this. I don't mean to sell this early, but like we're gonna do some stuff on the Patreon, and
We
we're
already
going
talked about our projections that we're going to do. And I mean, I should just say this too. I'm sorry to steal your thunder. I'm going to let you go back here in a second. I'm just too excited. But projections are everything in the NBA. NBA is the single most projectable sport, period. You know usage, you know shots. Stars get upset if they don't get a certain amount of shots. If like LeBron doesn't get a 35% usage, he's going in there and screaming to Darwin Ham what the F was up with this game plan, and he's kicking Russell Westbrook out of California. Right? But like, you know where the ball is going to go.
Yeah.
You know, whereas in soccer, yes, we know who like taking corners, right? But we don't know how many corners are going to take. And in Major League Baseball, we know who is projected based on splits to do well, but Aaron Judge can still go over 4 with 4Ks.
Right. Like I provide MLB projections, and I will sit here and say that like
they're noisy.
Maybe they're very noisy, and maybe with only soccer football, that's like the only less projectable sport than baseball. Baseball, it's like this is what you would get on a median, and it's like 1 point different than everyone else. With basketball,
but you still need it in baseball. Like, let's not poo-poo them, because
I mean,
you need a baseline. Otherwise, you're just clicking stuff and hoping and praying.
Right. Yeah. I'm not saying I'm selling snake oil. I'm just saying it's going to be a little more potent with NBA. Yeah, with the NBA, it's going to be all about what you talked about. The differences in minutes, and the best ball thing is the big thing, because
so good.
If I have to pick between Ant Edwards and Jalen Noel, is that what it is?
Yep.
His name. I keep thinking of McDaniels, which it was also
that was funny for him to mention as like a top 3.
I got his comment.
The whole cat segment. The whole cat segment.
But so, do you want Anthony Edwards for 30 points, or do you want Noel for the same production potentially for 12 points against the cap?
On your cap. Everything's against the cap. Exactly.
So like when you know you're going to get those big difference makers, like you're going to plug in your MVP, and then you're going to plug in that value guy. Like that's going to be as important as anything else.
You know what the coolest thing too, just as you just said that, and I think right before we got on, Sean said it in one of the chats or something. So first of all, let's say 2 things with the common. At some point, I'm just going to drag him onto the show, but you know, for the common mention, Sean, PSU fans, can be critical of Sorare, and his exact comment was, "Holy crap! Like, I don't think I could have designed a better game," which is about as nice as Sean can ever. That's about as good of a compliment as you'll ever get from him.
That's true. That's true. And I feel the same way. Like he said, like
they just nailed it. But I'm still going to have these terms wrong. Okay. But I'm just going to pull it up so I don't butcher the terms too bad. Let's just give me a quick second. Okay. So for a contender, I think the coolest part about contender is you're not going to see Jokic and Giannis. And so like, that's a really cool thing. Like, I think in Champion, just my initial thoughts of builds. In Champion, you have to have a stud. And I think that there's such good, on a week-to-week basis, the difference between Luka, Giannis, and Jokic, and then 4th down, Embiid is how I have projected. I did a really, really quick season-long projections. I have Embiid 4th, but there's a little bit of distance, and then there's a lot of distance.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden you're shooting 4 to 5 down. I think it's LeBron I had next. Which I would have, I need to evaluate that, because I think that I don't know if I'm about that. I think there's a lot of load management that's gonna happen to LeBron this year. I don't know, man. But like, so like champion, so hold on, champion. It's a champion.
Yeah.
Champion. I think you need one of those three if you're going to be a competitive player. You need a Jokic, Giannis, Luka,
Right.
and then you fill in the cap from there. But I don't think you're going to see Luka, Giannis, Jokic in. I keep on saying challenger. I'm struggling bad. Contender.
Contender.
And
Yeah.
contender.
Well, I think in
Which is so
champion,
cool.
I think in champion you might need two because one of them doesn't count against your cap.
Well, it depends on how good the value is that week.
Right. Exactly.
It depends on the value, because if there's not good value that week, or there's not value we know
Right.
about, I think that's the thing. There's always going to be value, but it's going to be, is the value something that you know is happening, or is it in the second game where all the resting is going to happen?
Right. And with the value too, like that's going to be so fluid because it's last 10 games. So if you get an injury where someone misses 10 games, all of a sudden you're going to see guys who just go off for 2 or 3 or whatever in that fill-in time. And then like they're not going to be that valuable the next time once their L10 kind of resets.
Well, and now if you're going to be like a flipper, or you're going to have a liquid gallery, which I think, if you don't have 50 ETH sitting around, you're going to need to be just a liquid thing.
Yeah.
You're going to have to do that evaluation of how close that guy is back. How close is Jaden Noah back to being the 8th guy in the rotation where I don't want to start him?
Yeah,
because he's only going to play 18 minutes versus right now he's the top projected player of the game week, and his value is going to be about as high as it could possibly get.
There's
that's
going to be a
nice
lot of
little
lessons. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of lessons when all of a sudden, like, you think a guy is something and then he gets relegated back to the bench deep.
React to this comment. Okay. I did not prepare you for this. I sent this to Laird earlier, and he kind of gave me one of these. You sure about that? I think the two most valuable teams in Sorare to have players on: Utah Jazz, Oklahoma City Thunder. React.
It depends. I mean, I think
you know why I'm saying that, I guess, first and foremost.
Not entirely, because my first thought is like, well, some of those guys, their L10s are gonna just be higher because they are getting bigger shares on a bad team, but like then their L10's still high and whatever, like they might get mashed, but I don't know, usage percentage. They're gonna be cheaper.
I'm surely going for that. I think Utah and Oklahoma City, every time they win the game, the owners and the GMs are going, why did we play so well? Shai Gilgeous needs to go away, or we can't play Shai Gilgeous on the back end of this. So I think just you're going to have the most random resting and random DNPs and random rotations just getting mucked up. Okay, like just like, why did SGA only play 18? I already see the DFS side of it going, like, you played a little bit of DFS. It's like, why did SGA only play 18 minutes tonight? Because he was playing too well. And they are in full tank mode. They don't want to win a game.
Right.
They want to max it. And like, so those are two teams that have telegraphed that we do not want to win. So like, when I just like, if you're just doing like accumulation method to be early, and again, we're on best ball format. So Robinson Earl, I can't think of his first name for Oklahoma City, is going to have a game where he plays 42 minutes. And why you go, why the hell is he playing 42 minutes? I'm like, because he gave us the best chance to lose.
Yep.
And I don't actually care about that, because I just care about rebounds. I don't have to care about field goal percentage. I just have to care about raw DFS points, for lack of a better term. Yeah. So I think that those two type of teams are going to be really interesting. Those are going to be what, especially the middle of the season and onward. Like, I think people might actually get disgusted about how the winning lineups look, because there might be like 3 guys that people have never heard of, or that guys are on 2-way contracts.
Right.
Oh,
probably a lot of those guys without cards. Yeah, I think handcuffs just kind of in general will be like, who benefits the most from LeBron sitting? Who benefits the most from Kawhi sitting? Like those guys directly.
Lonnie Walker season.
Yeah, dude, I didn't know he was with the Lakers. I got his common card and I was like, oh, that's cool.
He's in the I'm still getting used to, but yeah, I mean, I remember from a DFS perspective, the Grizzlies for like literally 3 straight seasons. The end of the season, they would dress like 7 guys.
Right.
And you just, in DFS, you had to have 3 to 4 Grizzlies. So that's not the case this year. They're an actual contender, but it's, I picture like Utah and Oklahoma City and hopefully not my Magic, but like those type of teams that.
I got a ton of Magic comments.
Yeah, I got Bamba and Bulbul, who are both like fighting for the backup center spot, so that's no good. But it's good for the laughs. I'm Hoop. I'm gonna have no ETH left after this is all over. I'm so
Same.
excited.
What I was
Any other big
actually
takeaways? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
what I was actually hoping for is that people would start listing their MLB cards, their super rares on the manager sales, and I could find some deals while they're trying to
You're gonna
recoup.
see it. I do think that most people that are already on the platform realize that these first mint prices are going to be insane.
Right.
They are definitely more like collector slash vanity buys.
Yeah.
Like
Sorry,
hold
I'm
on.
looking at MLB players right now.
Actually it's coming close. I think we're about to have.
Oh,
Oh man,
right.
Giannis. Hold on, Giannis super rare. Who you want to take a guess if you don't see it?
Oh, I
Five
already have it
minutes
up.
left. 5 minutes left.
I have it up.
Five ETH. I think it's gonna go to 8 to 10.
Just went up. The fact
Yeah,
that LeBron's number one common is at 4/8 is,
but
or
that
sorry,
year
might
one.
as well be common.
So let's do this. We have to wrap up here shortly.
Yeah.
First off, obviously there's gonna be a ton of content. We're definitely going to be leaning hard in NBA on this. I think the reality of what I've noticed is that football is very, very well covered from Sorare content providers out there. The amazing people like Quinny, like the Sorare Data guys, Laird, PSU, Black, Nellis. I'm sure Harry Trays, and I'm forgetting a ton of other amazing
Right.
people. But we're going to lean into MLB and into NBA where a lot of people aren't. So I'm pumped. So
Yeah.
if you're looking for a lot of football talk here, I don't know if we're going to be able to provide a ton to you. I'm sure I will have to talk about Teddy Tuma when he drops hundreds,
Yeah. Well,
because
there's always time. There's always room in the show for that.
that's my boy. But we're gonna really lean heavy into the American sports for you guys.
Well,
so, but
and we talked to Ryan Spoon on Friday.
Yeah.
I already got one of my favorite NBA folks from the DFS world who is excited about NBA So Rare. I got them lined up to come on the show, like the first outside guests. So yeah, we're leaning into it.
I have somebody too that had mentioned when it does that he wants to come to. So we are going to lean into the basketball, the American side a lot. So hopefully that helps. We definitely need some diversity out there in the content world. But Hoop, because the baby's waking up, so I only have like about a minute. Tell me, why do you hate the designs that are so sexy, that are so amazing, and you've got to hate?
Okay, I actually figured out what my exact issue is. Great. There's just too much shadow. There's too much black. So the shadow behind the players. Well, here, can I screen share? Am I allowed to screen
I think
share?
It'll have to be me. Give me a second.
You have the same thing pulled up. Just pull up the
yeah, I'm pulling it up.
Pull up the auctions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's pull up Giannis.
The black behind him and the black at the bottom
is pure sex. Yes.
It's dark. And then when you look at the shadows like on players' faces, like the contrast is really highlighted. What I like are, if you look at the baseball cards, there's like no black to it at all. There's like no shadow. It's very shiny. Gotcha. It's a lot of sheen to it. And here you see a lot of highlights like on Giannis's cheeks and on his shoulders. And they just look very dark. They don't look like, ooh, this is a new age Web3 sort of thing. It looks, I don't know. That's literally my only problem. Yeah.
Sometimes magic is made with lights off.
Yeah, but you don't get shadows with the lights off.
This is true. Well, if you're getting the mood right. All right.
This is the only thing I would change. One, less color and just go all black. So like instead of just the black at the bottom, make all of it black and all of the lettering and the outline blue, red, yellow, or just get rid of that black and make it.
I think they're awesome. I love the scarcity in the back. I think that's super
slick. I agree. I like that.
I know that there's going to be some people that are disagreeing, but I think the action shot is cool just to have, like, I know it's not action, but like what I heard Jay Williams, he said action shot, but he's like where the player gets to express. So it's like the player chose a pose, which I think is cool. I just picture Jordan Clarkson shooting.
Just like deep in the background.
I'm buying a Jordan Clarkson jersey, man. You're not going to get me away from it.
That's fine. That's cool.
One card I want to make a reaction to, and then I'm going to be a good dad. I promise. Hold on. I got to go find it. I don't even know. Is the player page working? It is.
Oh yeah, dude.
I gotta have it.
The Ty Dolla $ign hair.
Well, no, he shaved after media day, right? He shaved it off after media day.
Yeah, well, I don't need to make I don't need to make the comment I was going to make, but
Oh, I have to have the Jimmy dreads. I gotta have it.
dude, he looks like Ty Dolla Sign. It's
It's so
hilarious.
good. It's so good. It just doesn't even look like Jimmy Butler to me.
No, it doesn't.
It's just an amazing, and he's a good. Obviously, he's going to be a good card. The only problem with Jimmy Butler, so we'll leave on this. The baby's like, I'm never going to forgive you, Dad.
Yeah, my
But
son's yelling too.
the dog.
My furry son.
The the interesting thing to me about this whole entire thing will be as we go further. I wonder if like the Jimmy, this actually was a Sean comment, which I think was spot on. The really interesting about this gameplay is the Jimmy Butlers of the world actually might be afterthoughts because they don't fit. They're not as good as you want for your MVP, and then they're doing too well to really fit your build.
Yep, I agree. It's not exactly studs and duds, but
it's studs, undervalued, and
yes.
then that guys that are in like the middle tier that aren't all-stars but have insane ceilings, and you get 2 games and you just need a best ball it. I just need Scott, like Scotty Barnes might be actually too good, but I just need Scotty Barnes to go off at for 60.
Yeah, studs and
right?
values.
I mean, it's kind of how DFS goes. Again, back to that
Right.
DFS thing.
Right.
So.
No, it's an advantage, and the fact that you have that expertise and I have a little bit of it, and the people who have done that and know how to play that game effectively are going to have an edge.
Well, I'm pumped. I know you have a little bit of MLB coming up. I think we have Spoon. That's still like, I don't know. I hope that he actually is okay. We have Ryan Spoon, COO. The fit, did an awesome job on the community event. So we got him coming on Friday, we believe, still also supposed to be still good there. I was thinking that we would probably also try to do maybe just one lineup build for NBA with our commons.
Absolutely.
Explain the why. We'll actually know rotations by then. We get to see a few games, man. I'm pumped. Sorare is taking off. I can't wait. Any final thoughts?
This is big.
Huge.
NBA is big. The fact that they nailed NBA and that it doesn't look like we need any improvements out of the gate. Like we will get improvements, but it doesn't look like we need improvements out of the gate with the amount of influx I expect. And again, like I didn't get this with MLB. I thought we were going to see a lot of marketing in the playoffs, and there really hasn't been outside of inside the stadium. I don't expect it to take as much marketing to get NBA folks on board with this, and I do it.
I think the players are gonna fall in love quick too. I mean, just the fact that Cat isn't one of the investors, but Rudy Gobert is. It feels like there was like a nudge there. By the way, quick update, and we won't stay around for the time. Giannis up to 11 ETH. No, I'm sorry, 10.94.
Still going, huh?
Still going. Love it. All right, Hoop, take it easy. We will see you guys back a lot more this week on the Sorare First Pitch. Just make sure you like, subscribe, comment so you see all of it come. Thanks, guys. Bye.